Hello, and welcome to another edition of Academic Matters. I'm Joe Marbach, the Provost at LaSalle University. In this segment, I'm joined by Dr. Carmen Lamas, who is the Director of the Hispanic Institute here at LaSalle. Carmen, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you for having me on Academic Matters.
It's a great pleasure. And Carmen, you're relatively new at LaSalle, started back in June. So tell the folks at home a little bit about your background and how you ended up here at LaSalle.
Great. Well, I'm a scholar of the 19th century, Latin American and Latino literature, and I got my PhD here at Penn. So I'm familiar with Philadelphia and loved my experience here in Philly. After I finished at Penn, I taught at Amherst College and at Columbia. And when I saw the opportunity at LaSalle, I jumped on it. Because for Amherst College, I had the experience of a small college environment. Mm-hmm. At Columbia and Penn, it was the urban setting. And LaSalle brought both of these experiences together. And I also have a master's from Georgetown University. Okay. So this it was the whole package, in a sense. And I was very excited when the opportunity came. Okay.
And in terms of the whole package, in addition to directing the Hispanic Institute, you're also an assistant professor in the Department of Foreign Languages.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So let me talk about both sides, both hats you wear, I guess. Mm-hmm. What's going on in Hispanic Institute? If you can tell the folks at home a little bit about its background and history and some of the programs that we're running out of the Hispanic Institute.
Great. Well, the Hispanic Institute was founded in 2005 by Dr. Luis Gomez, who is still in the faculty, but he is now the interim chair of the Department of Foreign Languages and Literatures. And the Hispanic Institute, the mission is to provide professional academic programs that provide professional training in bicultural and bilingual education for individuals who serve Hispanic communities both in the region and in the nation. And as such, we have 6 programs, 3 MAs and 2 certificate programs. And the MAs include both MAs in teaching English as a second language. Mm-hmm. We have an MA in bilingual and bicultural studies. And what's incredible about that degree is that you can get an MA and learn Spanish from scratch and learn about the Latino community and get an MA in the process. Like a lot of people want to learn Spanish, they get the cassettes or they take a few courses, but you don't end up with an MA at the end. Mm-hmm. And that degree that we have allows that. We also have a brand new degree that just started in January of 2012, which is a Master's in Translation and Interpretation. And we are the only university in the region from New York to DC to offer this degree, and one of the few in the country. And it really trains professionals to be master interpreters and translators in the health, legal, and business professions. Mm-hmm. And then we also have certificate programs, which are certificates in interpretation, certificates in translation, and finally we have certification in English as a second language. And this is mainly for teachers. Okay. And now in the state of Pennsylvania with ESL certification, you work with English language learners. And we actually have a collaboration that we've had for years with the School District of Philadelphia, mm-hmm. and they send us their teachers, and we are on the 3rd cohort of this cycle, so 20 to 25 teachers from the School District of Philadelphia are here, right now, this evening, taking courses.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the Hispanic Institute, you're really dealing mostly with an adult population, mm-hmm. Professional population, mm-hmm. And I want to come back to that master's degree in translation and interpretation because it is, as you said, it's unique, mm-hmm. And it's also providing a skill set that's in very large demand, mm-hmm. Particularly given demographic changes in the United States and in our region, with the Latino population as the fastest growing demographic segment of the population. Mm-hmm. Where are we placing people? I understand in terms of the legal education, there's most states have a test mm-hmm. that you have to pass, mm-hmm. and it has a very low pass rate, mm-hmm. but our students mm-hmm. surpass that test pass rate, if I'm not mistaken.
They do, and we are, when it comes to translation and interpretation, it is a field that is in the process of professionalizing itself with the American Translators Association, and now for example, we partner a lot with the Delaware Valley Translators Association, so that we are, by offering a master's, we are actually helping the field professionalize itself, as many of the positions that were kind of taken for granted. For example, on a hospital floor, you would just work with the nurse who knew Spanish. But there was the one nurse, and you had X amount of patients. So as we begin to serve more and more Hispanics and other languages. We happen to be the Hispanic Institute, so we work with Spanish, but this is, of course, a national experience that we're having. The need to have trained interpreters, in particular with consecutive and simultaneous interpretation, has become more of a professional and legal mandate. Now with our masters, I was going to share with you, our masters in translation and interpretation, we have adult learners, but we are getting a lot of inquiries from undergraduates who love the medical profession, who are interested in the legal profession, and they want this degree as kind of an asset for their employment, et cetera. So that is actually our highest inquiry right now.
Okay, and really those are professions where you're dealing with very technical terms. In some cases it's life or death.
Exactly.
And in other cases it could be a fortune or someone being incarcerated if we're talking about legal issues. So these are having a real impact in people's lives.
Definitely, and it really matches not just the mission of the Hispanic Institute, but of course LaSalle, where we really want, our programs to help the community. So it helps the individual, and then in terms of professionalizing himself, having the skill set, and then you go out and help the community and better the world at large. So all of our programs, one of the reasons I was so excited about the LaSalle opportunity was that reach out to the community in all that the Hispanic Institute does. Okay.
Let me now to ask you to put your other hat on as faculty member, and tell us a little bit about your past first semester here. You can that's under your belt now, and what you found with regard to our students. What was what surprises, if any, did you find pleasant and maybe not so pleasant?
No, I had a great semester. I had a group of wonderful students in Intermediate Spanish 1. And I mean, we took a class photo, we have it on our page. I had a wonderful experience. And now this semester, I have about 18 students in Intermediate Spanish 2, and it's the same experience. And what I really enjoy about LaSalle students is that they are really, at least in my classes, are very engaged. They come from, I have nurses, accounting majors, all sorts of majors. Some of them are just interested in learning Spanish because they see the impact that it will have, not just in their professional lives, but in their personal lives as well, in terms of the friendships they have, the travel experiences that they want. So I've had a great time with LaSalle undergraduates. I think they're the best. It's been very good.
That's great, and as you point out, you bring in students from so many different disciplines that it must lead to some very interesting types of conversations that go on in the classroom, and some sharing of experiences that students might not get if they're stuck in their disciplines.
Exactly, and because they have to do it in Spanish, there is kind of a level of vulnerability to kind of pushing the envelope in what you can talk about in your profession, et cetera, and your aspirations, as you literally practice different tenses in your verbs. So it's quite an energetic environment.
Okay.
Yes.
So in addition to your teaching, you must have a pretty active scholarly agenda. What are you working on in terms of research?
Well, I have, in my scholarly agenda, I have two areas I'm working on. First, I just finished a wonderful article called The Black Lector, or The Black Reader, and it's about a 19th century black Cuban author and politician who lived in the US for 10 years, and what kind of impact that had in his writing. And my book is on the Virgin of Charity of El Cobre, which is the Cuban patron saint, and how the kind of growth of her followers, et cetera, how it reflects Cuban history, Cuban culture in the 19th century, in particular in relation to race. So that's the academic part, but another part that's really exciting is that myself with a group of scholars in Chicago, in California, and in Florida, we are starting a Latino Studies Association that is international and interdisciplinary. So that is a national and international initiative. We have about 400 scholars that are going for it with us, and we look forward to launching that in 2014.
Okay, is it going to be a national meeting?
Yes, we're going to do that in Chicago.
Okay,
So it's going to be a group of regional universities in Chicago are going to host the event, and then at that point, if the initiative continues forward, which I hope it will, we will become an association. And it will bring in people from the health services, history, social work, sociology, everyone that works on Latino issues in this country.
Well, that's great. I know it's a really growing area in terms of Hispanic studies, Latino studies, and as you said, it is cross-disciplinary, it's interdisciplinary, it's not limited to just languages and literature anymore. We've got a couple minutes left. To what extent do you see your scholarship and research informing what you're doing in the classroom? Because in your case, it may be it may be difficult because you're teaching a skill set in intermediate, but there will be other courses in literature and even at the upper level where you can.
Oh yes, I mean, I look forward to, I enjoy teaching language, but I look forward, there are courses that I've been thinking of. One was a course that I plan to title called Perfumed Margins, and that will be on 19th century Romanticism, Latin American and Latino U.S. Romanticism, because I look at the connections between Latin America, the Caribbean, the U.S., Africa, Europe, so it's very transnational in scope. And another course that I think students will enjoy, it's called New World Writings, and it's about our New World writings, but from the perspective of trying to get kind of a cultural map of what was happening, not just a series of events and et cetera, but kind of
how ideas spread. And,
exactly. And I mean, it really, for students, to use literature, texts, and different media to kind of organize their thinking and express an idea and understand it and discuss it. That is what I really love about the literature classroom.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
Carmen, it sounds like you have a very ambitious agenda set for you. My guest in this segment has been Dr. Carmen Lamas, who is the director of the Hispanic Institute and an assistant professor in the Department of Foreign Languages and Literature at LaSalle University. Please come back when I'll be joined by Dr. Kelly McClure of the Psychology Department.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they'd die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults 15 to 29. And one person dies from melanoma every hour. It's time. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Savings Man here with a story for you about two young spenders named Tommy and Sue. Their parents let them buy whatever they chose, like video games and designer clothes. As they grew older, they spent all their pay on fancy cars, houses, 2 lattes a day. They lived in the moment, never saving a dime. When they tried to retire, they'd run out of time. Working forever is Tom and Sue's fate, so choose to save now before it's too late. Visit our website to find out more, 'cause a happy ending's worth saving for.
They call them the golden years, and for many seniors, they are. But for too many others, retirement is like a prison.
Do you have any jacks?
The difference? This couple saved for their retirement, and this couple didn't. It's your choice. choose to save. To learn how to get started, get your free Power to Choose brochure, because your retirement can truly be your golden years.
Welcome back to Academic Matters. Once again, I'm Joe Marbach, the Provost here at LaSalle University. In this segment, I'm joined by Dr. Kelly McClure, who is the Director of our doctorate program in psychology, and she's also an Associate Professor in psychology. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me today.
That's great. Kelly, you're an Associate Professor, so you've been here 7, 8 years now?
I've been here since 2003.
Okay,
Yes.
so quite a while. Tell folks a little bit about your background and how you ended up here at LaSalle.
Okay, I'm a clinical psychologist. I trained at Drexel University here in Philadelphia, learning how to provide psychological services, mostly in a health setting, so for people coping with medical illnesses. And then I was very excited to find the opportunity to come to LaSalle, where we have a training program for psychology students at all levels, undergraduate, master's, and the doctoral level, and in particular a general program for potential clinical psychologists who have concentrations either in health or child clinical as well.
Okay. So our programs then are really practically oriented, they're professionally oriented, they're developing the clinical expertise, whether it's undergrad, as you said, master's or doctoral level.
Yes, exactly.
Where do we end up placing our students? I know they've got to do clinicals, as they're learning, and then what do they do beyond that?
After graduation, our doctoral alumni have a variety of jobs. So because our program is so broadly oriented, meaning that we cover a wide variety of skills and also across the whole developmental spectrum, our alumni actually are employed in 23 different types of settings.
Okay.
So they're very marketable to a variety of settings. The most common places of employment are independent practice, and then in addition to that, community mental health, which is providing mental health services for people in lower income communities, and then also in correctional settings and VA medical centers.
Okay.
So that's, I think, another wonderful aspect of the program is that it's very in line with the university's mission of serving underserved populations, and we see that in our employment data as well, that our students are still continuing to serve even after they graduate from the university.
Is mental health in general a growth field, or awareness of mental health? Maybe you can take the viewers through a thumbnail sketch of how mental health is developing and how we're becoming more aware of the issues.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the stigma to mental health and mental health services is really, although it's still present, it's lessening over time. And then there are a couple of things that are happening in the country that are really creating jobs for psychologists, and where the psychologists really have an opportunity to make important contributions. One is the integration of healthcare in general.
Okay.
So the fact that the healthcare models are moving more towards integrated care rather than specialty clinics, or what they call kind of the silo approach.
Treating the whole person
Treating
as
the whole
opposed to an individual malady or something. Yeah.
That, and in addition to treating the whole person, encouraging collaboration between the disciplines. One area where psychologists can really contribute to that is in assisting patients in adhering to their medications. So that's really a behavior that people can do, and where psychologists really have expertise in how to assist people in taking things that are being prescribed to them.
Yeah. I guess a real challenge for folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in addition to that, assisting with some of the health prevention, so things like eating healthy, exercising, doing things that would prevent other potential chronic illnesses in the future. So psychologists have a unique role in that area. In addition to that, there are a lot of new jobs in the VAs. So as our veterans are coming home, and as more of our veterans are living with long-term injuries and also coping with post-traumatic stress, psychologists are, again, providing a unique service in assisting those veterans as they reintegrate into civilian life and also cope with their long-term injuries. In addition to that, we have several alumni who have and are actively serving in the military.
Okay,
Yes.
and then helping the troops directly then.
Yes.
In that regard. Okay. Now, you know, you're very humble, so I'm going to make you brag a little bit. The doctorate in psychology, or the PsyD as we call it on campus, which was our first doctoral program, is very difficult to get into. It's one of our most selective programs on campus. In some cases, I like to tell people it's easier to get into Ivy League schools than it is to get into this program. What is the acceptance rate, and how difficult, how challenging is it to get into our program?
Absolutely. About 10% of the people who apply to our program actually are able to begin the program the following year.
So you'll get 250 applications for 25 seats?
For 25 seats, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's very competitive. People have very high GPAs, very high GRE scores, and in addition to that have a good amount of experience, either providing some kind of mental health services already, conducting some type of research, or having some type of research experience. And many of our doctoral students already have master's degrees.
That's what I was going to ask. Do they generally come in with a master's and then
either a master's degree or some kind of work experience?
Okay.
Some students come right out of undergraduate as well. There's a range.
Okay, but I guess they're among the brightest and best.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. In addition to directing the program, you're another one of our faculty members who wears two hats.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing working with the students in the classroom and your research agenda and how the two intersect.
Absolutely. My research is in social problem solving, which is the methodical approach that people use towards solving everyday problems. It's related to stress. It's also related to depression, as well as coping with chronic illnesses such as cancer or heart disease. And I've had a unique opportunity to really do research and provide clinical training in this, because it's also a type of therapy. And so we have a mental health clinic that's here on campus that's operated through our psychology department. We provide outpatient services for people in the community that are low cost.
And who do we staff that with?
With our doctoral students who are supervised by our licensed clinical psychologists who are on our faculty. So it's really multiple levels of oversight that that we're able to provide and provide high quality services at a low
and
cost.
really, as you pointed out, our mission too, in giving back directly to the community in many ways.
Yes, I think it's a very special opportunity that we offer both for our students and for the community as well. So we take a team approach, and the team that I supervise focuses on social problem solving therapy as the primary intervention. So most of the clients that we serve have depression, and we do a problem solving intervention or therapy for them, and then we study how effective it is. So we measure people's depression before they start, and then again when they're finished, to ensure that that their symptoms have improved.
What kind of program do you put someone through? Are there generally basic step A, step B, or do you tailor it to each individual? Or is it a range of options?
It's absolutely tailored to each intervention. So what we believe, and also what we find in the research, is that every person comes with a unique history, a unique story, unique preferences, and so we really need to make sure that we're tailoring the therapy to this person's preferences, needs, and strengths as well. And so the therapy is really designed to be structured in that there are certain goals that need to be accomplished, but they don't need to be accomplished in a particular order or in a particular set way, but really to meet the person where they are. Okay.
Is there, as you say, when somebody comes in and you kind of measure the level of depression, and then hopefully it's decreased and
Yes.
somebody's happier? Or
Right.
is it over a period of time, or are there intervals where it's every couple of weeks?
Every 4 sessions or so,
Okay.
we'll measure the
So we want to see that people are
effectiveness.
making progress.
Exactly, and if they're not,
Okay.
then we'll adjust. You know, maybe we'll try a different therapy or just make some adjustments that will help the
Okay.
person feel a little more comfortable.
All right, and when you publish in this area, you often publish with your students.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's a really great linkage, and you see this, as I said, the intersection of both the practice and the academics coming together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a student right now who's working on a paper looking at social problem solving and emotional eating. So how do the way that people go about solving their problems, how does that impact what they do when they're eating? And we found some interesting results there.
Okay, is that a defined population or a more general population?
This was just in the general population.
Just general population, okay.
Yes.
And then that would lead to perhaps the study of a specific demographic.
Yes.
If there are significant differences.
Yes, this study was with college students, and so we're looking at sort of the impact on the freshman 15.
Okay,
and,
which
and,
for
you know,
folks at home, that's the
early
15
adulthood
pounds.
weight
yeah.
gain. Yes.
Okay, and anything significant that I've got a son who's going to be going off to college next year, so I'll give him some advice to.
Well, one thing that was interesting was that it was kind of different for men and women. So for
Okay.
male college students and female college students, their experience was different in this regard. And that the female students tended to eat a little bit more, both when they were anxious and depressed. But the male students didn't eat more when they were having depression.
Okay,
so
just when they were.
just when they were
excited.
anxious, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kelly. My guest has been Dr. Kelly McClure, Associate Professor in the Psychology Department and Director of the Doctorate of Psychology program here at LaSalle University. Once again, I'm Joe Marbach, the Provost at LaSalle. Thank you for watching.